Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're doing something a little different. We're looking at a recent celebrity milestone that, on the surface, looks like simple, glossy news. But when you start peeling back the layers,
Yeah.
it reveals this incredibly profound and I think universally relatable truth about communication, about family, and, about finding peace.
Absolutely.
So the immediate news is that Miley Cyrus recently celebrated her 33rd birthday.
Right.
And for a global pop star, every birthday is a milestone. But what really grabbed our attention wasn't the number 33 or, the inevitable fashion coverage.
Yeah.
What captivated us was the public display of family unity.
Yeah.
Specifically, the complete reconciliation with her father, the country music legend Ray Cyrus, after what all the articles were calling a brutal feud.
And brutal feels like the right word given the context.
It really does. And this isn't just a story about a quick celebrity kiss and makeup. This is really a case study in deliberate artistic
The
healing.
case study, I like that.
So our mission in this deep dive is to, really analyze the material around this celebration.
Okay.
The social media signals, the quotes, the timelines, and most importantly, explore the unique mechanism, the specific creative tool that Miley and Billy Ray used to not just end their rift, but to really successfully mend it. They replaced what could have been painful, structured dialogue with something far more efficient and emotionally resonant.
Yeah.
Okay, let's unpack this.
What's fascinating here is exactly that idea of communication shortcuts.
Right?
Especially when the stakes are at their highest. I mean, when a family is dealing with a crisis, and this was a big one, divorce, splitting loyalties, years of hurt.
All of it.
The conventional wisdom, it tells you that you have to engage in this intense, verbal, structured dialogue.
Therapy.
Therapy, exactly. And that it's going to take months, if not years, of just dedicated, really difficult effort. The work. But the sources we're looking at, they present this powerful counter-narrative.
How so?
They show us how creative expression, specifically composing and gifting a song, can just completely bypass that painful, confrontational structure.
Wow.
It offered an incredibly quick, emotionally safe, and I think very direct route to resolution. So we get handed the public visual evidence of the piece,
The birthday photo.
the birthday photos, and then, crucially, the textual evidence. Miley and Billy Ray's own words explaining the really elegant process behind that piece. It just challenges all our assumptions about what that work in conflict resolution is supposed to look like.
That's so provocative. But I have to say, also a little worrying.
Oh, interesting. Why?
Well, if they bypassed the painful structure, like you said, of traditional dialogue, does that mean they left some, complex emotional debris unresolved?
That's a great question.
Can a song truly be a long-term solution, or is it more of a quick, poetic fix? We have to kind of hold that question as we analyze this
Because the success is undeniable.
exactly, the success they've had, as we see from the birthday, it suggests their method actually worked.
It really did.
And to really appreciate the depth of that success, we have to start where the public got the first clear signal that the war was over.
Her 33rd birthday party.
The pop star took to Instagram to share this celebration, which right there, that signifies intent.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, she's posting to a massive audience. We're talking 211 million followers.
It's not a small number.
Not at all. So this wasn't just a private party. This post was a deliberate public communication. It was announcing a new era of stability.
A press release, almost.
In a way, yeah. She shared these black and white photos, which immediately lends this feeling of intimacy, of timelessness. It strips away the usual celebrity spectacle.
Totally. It's not about the flash.
And her caption was incredibly reflective. It was focused not on external achievements, but on internal well-being.
Right.
She wrote, 33 is already burning bright thanks to the warmth of your sweet birthday wishes. And then comes the really telling part. This is her wish for the year ahead. She says, all I want this year is more laughs with the people who give me the little smile lines that are starting to show up.
Oh, I love that. The smile lines.
Isn't that great? She then concluded the post with a simple, I love you all, and a white heart emoji.
That caption is just It's fascinating. It's such a deliberate pivot
A pivot from what?
from the career-focused Miley we often see, the one focused on metrics and awards. Here, she's prioritizing the small, tangible signs of happiness.
The smile lines.
The smile lines. And to address your earlier concern, the fact that she's looking forward to creating new happy memories with her inner circle,
Yeah.
that suggests the old pain has been effectively managed, or at least compartmentalized enough to allow new joy to take root. It wasn't about glamour. It was about affirming authenticity and closeness.
Showcasing her tightest support system.
Exactly.
And we can actually identify who was in that inner circle just by looking at who was posting about the event.
Right, the digital trail.
Katie Coyne, for instance, was there. And for listeners who don't follow all of Miley's collaborations, Katie is married to Wayne Coyne.
From the Flaming Lips.
Right, a key longtime collaborator. He works on her visual projects, tours with her. The fact that the Coyne family, who kind of bridge her professional and personal life,
Yeah.
were there celebrating.
That reinforces this feeling of grounded stability.
And Katie's post offers this fantastic little detail.
Oh.
It speaks to their easy, comfortable connection. She shared 2 photos. One of them highlights this funny fashion coincidence where they both showed up in matching long-sleeved little black dresses.
That's great.
And Katie wrote, "Showed up in the same outfit. Happy birthday to my girl." It speaks volumes about like their synchronicity, a shared emotional language.
It does. It's a small thing that says a lot.
But it's the second photo Katie shared that really signals the resolution we're talking about.
Okay, what was it?
It was a close-up shot of Miley blowing out a single birthday candle.
A single candle.
Yeah. And the caption that went with this seemingly simple image was just loaded with meaning. She wrote, "I know that wish will come true. Already is.
Already is.
Already is." Wow.
Let's just pause on that. The implication.
Yeah.
The wish already being fulfilled at the exact moment she's blowing out the candle. That's the key piece of evidence here.
Right.
Because if the wish is for, career success, that's almost always aspirational, something for the future.
Sure.
But if the wish is for personal peace, the timing suggests she already achieved it before the party even started.
And given the context of this brutal family feud.
Exactly. It strongly suggests that the peace and reconnection she wanted with her father and her family was the thing that had already come true.
That is exactly the kind of nuanced detail that, separates a deep dive from just a standard news report.
Right.
It elevates the whole birthday narrative from like standard celebrity fluff into this quiet mutual affirmation of stability and resolution. It's all subtle signaling in this very high stakes world. And we also have Miley Cyrus, Miley's older sister, confirming that family cohesion.
The podcaster.
Right. And Brandy's not just a sister, she's a professional partner. They co-host the Sorry, We're Cyrus podcast.
Which has to be tough when there's family drama.
Oh, I can't imagine. When family dynamics are strained, those professional collaborations are often the first things to crack.
For sure.
So the fact that Brandy shared a video clip of Miley being serenaded at a restaurant by her loved ones, and she added the note, "So glad we could be here to celebrate you, ILA Deva."
It shows the unit is intact.
Yes, or at least a substantial collaborating part of it, was actively present and unified.
And that unity was then publicly certified by the crucial detail.
The appearance of Ray Cyrus in the public sphere of the celebration.
The big one.
This is the big one. The stories explicitly note that Miley and her father, quote, appeared to extinguish their brutal feud. And given how serious the rift was, that is a massive headline.
It is.
So Billy Ray, the 64-year-old country star, he posts his birthday love directly on his own social media.
Okay, what did he post?
He shared throwback photos with his daughter. A really powerful choice, right?
Yeah.
It invokes their history, the foundation of their relationship.
It says, remember this.
Exactly. And he wrote, "Happy birthday, Smiley Miley."
Simple, but effective.
That public acknowledgement, that simple heart emoji and throwback picture.
Yeah.
It is the definitive punctuation mark on a very, very difficult chapter. It tells the world, whatever happened, the father-daughter relationship is repaired.
This is so critical because in the world of these high-profile celebrity families, social media activity, or just as important, the lack of it,
Right.
that defines the relationship status for the public. If they had both stayed silent and distant online, the speculation would have just continued.
For sure.
A single shared post is proof of a private reality, and it sets the stage perfectly for us to understand how they reached this point of peace.
Which the articles confirm happened earlier this year, well before the birthday. So to understand the sheer efficiency of the method they chose, the song, We absolutely have to understand the scale of the destruction. What exactly made this feud so brutal, according to the reports?
It's a good question. The source material uses words like brutal feud and contentious rift.
Right.
And it involved not just Miley and her father, but also some of her siblings. So this wasn't just like a temporary chilliness. This was a major systemic family crisis.
It fractured the whole unit.
Exactly. It impacted multiple relationships and potentially years of professional collaborations.
And we know exactly what kicked it all off.
We do. The epicenter of the earthquake was the divorce of Billy Ray and Tish Cyrus in 2022.
The epicenter. I like that. They'd been married since 1993. So, what, nearly 3 decades?
A lifetime. And when a marriage of that immense duration ends, especially one involving multiple adult children and a shared professional history,
They built an empire together, starting with Hannah Montana.
they built an empire. It inevitably creates these deep, wrenching fissures throughout the entire family. Children are often, forced into shifting loyalties. Emotional boundaries get breached. The whole foundation of the family is just shaken.
And this wasn't just a private matter playing out in
Well,
Tennessee.
not even close.
This was all happening under the brightest public spotlight imaginable. I mean, Billy Ray is the Something Beautiful artist.
Yeah.
Miley is the Flowers hit maker.
Mhm.
They both have these massive independent public profiles.
Which means their private conflict became a global narrative.
Every single perceived slight,
Every lack of a like on Instagram.
every holiday photo without one parent or the other, it was all scrutinized, interpreted, and reported on.
That pressure alone must have been immense. I mean, it would exacerbate any conflict tenfold.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine trying to navigate that profound grief and anger, the normal emotions after a family split, while knowing that 211 million people are watching your social media feed for clues.
It's impossible. And the media narratives often force family members to take sides, whether they want to or not.
Right. And then you have the difficulty of maintaining professional things, like Brandy continuing the podcast during this high-profile rift.
That adds another whole layer of complexity.
They have to manage their own private hurt while also managing this massive public brand that relies on a certain image of family stability.
Yeah. And this all makes their decision to use a song as the peace offering even more significant.
So,
They weren't just resolving a conflict. They were reclaiming control of the narrative of their healing. The public acknowledgments, like the birthday post, they're a necessary antidote to all the previous negative press and years of speculation.
it's a stark contrast.
Incredibly stark. You have
Yeah.
the highly public, painful legal proceedings of the divorce and the family fracture
Yeah.
versus this highly private, artful reconciliation mediated through a melody.
And the actual mechanism of that peace, the sources confirm, was secured earlier this year through a very specific peace offering.
A song.
The song is titled Secrets, and it's on Miley's latest album. And the key detail is that she dedicated this highly personal song to the country star. And she gifted it to him for his birthday back in August.
So it was a targeted gift.
A very targeted gift. This wasn't casual. That act of composing and delivering a personalized, vulnerable piece of art became the central, singular vehicle for their resolution.
It's not a series of tense text messages.
No, or an intense, potentially confrontational conversation over coffee. It was a finished piece of art sent as a birthday gift that served as an emotional treaty.
And this choice is where their professional skills just bleed beautifully into their personal life.
Yeah.
They're both expert communicators in the studio. They speak the language of music fluently, so when spoken words failed them.
Which they clearly did.
When conversation became too loaded or too painful, they just retreated to their most comfortable, most expressive language.
That makes so much sense.
If the conflict was too difficult to tackle with, conversational prose, Miley just packaged the emotion into poetry and melody. She gave her father something complete and beautiful to process, rather than a conversation requiring an immediate and probably defensive response.
Okay, this is where we get into the heart of it. This is the truly fascinating analytical insight. Because Miley was incredibly articulate about why music worked better than conventional dialogue. She detailed her rationale in October on CBS Sunday Morning.
Right, with Tracy Smith?
Exactly. She explained that she gifted the song Secrets because, and I'm quoting the source material directly here, we didn't feel that there needed to be a whole conversation because him and I just communicate better through song.
Wow. That statement alone it's not just an observation.
No, it's a philosophical declaration about their relationship.
Yes. She recognized the limitations of their dynamic when they're forced into traditional spoken conflict resolution, that high-stakes verbal arena where they, often clashed. And she consciously opted for a channel where they were both masters.
It's an astonishing concept. It's about efficiency, but also emotional maturity.
It really is. It shows she wasn't just looking for an easy way out, but rather the most effective way in.
Right.
And think about the contrast she draws. She said that once Billy Ray got the song, it feels like it said something in a couple of minutes that would have taken, maybe a family with a more structured, therapeutic dynamic, a lot of
A
sessions.
lot of sessions. She's comparing a few minutes of resonant music to potentially months or years of formalized therapy.
Exactly. And those therapy sessions involve these vulnerable, confronting verbal exchanges where words might be misinterpreted or where just the simple act of facing each other and articulating the pain can feel overwhelming.
So this shift in the medium, it fundamentally changes the whole psychological landscape of the interaction.
Completely.
Let's delve into what makes the studio session, as she calls it, a non-traditional therapeutic space. The replacement mechanism she defined, it's so concise. She said, but instead of us doing therapy sessions, we just do studio sessions. And we send a song and we say, I love you. And that feels peaceful for us.
That phrase feels peaceful for us. That's everything.
It is. And when you send a song, the recipient is alone. There's no pressure for an immediate response.
Right.
Billy Ray could sit with secrets, listen to it over and over, process the vulnerability his daughter expressed in his own time without the pressure of her physical presence.
For the need for an immediate verbal justification or defense, that solitude is key. In a verbal confrontation, our amygdala fires up, right?
The fight or flight.
The fight or flight response. We get defensive, we prepare our response instead of truly listening, but art allows for what you could call solitary repeated processing.
I like that.
A song is a permanent packaged expression of emotion. It doesn't change based on the mood of the speaker, so it allows the recipient to just drop their defenses because the message is mediated. It lets emotions be expressed, received, and processed cleanly without all that emotional static that comes with direct, high-stakes dialogue.
The song holds the emotion for them.
Yes, it holds the emotion.
We should linger on that for a second. The idea of art holding the emotion. For anyone listening to this, that's a profound insight you can apply to any difficult conversation.
Totally.
If you struggle to articulate complex or painful emotions verbally, mediating them through an external medium, writing a letter, creating a piece of art, or, composing music, it takes the pressure off the confrontation.
The creation itself becomes the messenger.
In the case of the Cyruses, the vulnerability wasn't raw and exposed. It was packaged in art, which, for two professional musicians, is their most comfortable, fluent language. They applied their professional mastery to their personal healing.
And we have to remember the stakes we talked about. This was a brutal feud. So this song had to convey something truly immense to secure a reconciliation of this magnitude.
It had to cut through years of noise.
Professional and familial noise.
Yes. And the power of this method was confirmed by the immediate and deeply emotional reaction. When talking to Tracy Smith, Miley shared the impact of the song on her father, and she just said, simply, my dad cried.
And there it is. That is the definitive, ultimate confirmation.
Right.
It confirms that the song successfully communicated everything that weeks of painful conversation probably failed to achieve. Tears are often that physiological response to a breakthrough, a sudden, complete emotional surrender.
And Miley provided this really deep analysis on those tears. She noted, and this is where it really transcends just being a celebrity anecdote.
Yeah.
She said, you don't see your dad cry a lot. She described it as something you remember, whether the tears are happy or painful.
That's so true.
And then she connected their specific personal moment to this powerful universal truth. She said that when she tells people her dad cried, they often respond with, I remember when my dad cried.
Wow. That collective response confirms how significant paternal tears are across cultures. It signifies this profound breach in the usual emotional defenses of a father figure.
And then Miley shared her own personal benchmark for her father's vulnerability. She said, I don't know if I've seen my dad cry since his dad passed away.
Oh, wow.
My dad, I just haven't really seen that.
So she's comparing the grief over losing his own father to the emotional power of receiving this peace offering from his daughter.
That's the weight of it.
That highlights the potent significance of the moment. The song was so perfectly articulated, it broke through years of practiced emotional structure to get a response reserved only for life's most profound events.
It's an extraordinary piece of human drama. The tears signify complete emotional acceptance of the message. It showed the song wasn't just a dedication or a passive gift. It was an active, effective emotional conduit that succeeded where words had likely failed.
And the best part is, we have confirmation from Billy Ray himself
Yes.
that he fully received and accepted this method, and crucially, the entire philosophy behind it.
So after that CBS Sunday Morning segment aired, Billy Ray took to his own Instagram. He explicitly said he wanted to reiterate what Miley said.
He's co-signing it.
Completely. He shared a throwback VHS video of them performing together when she was a little girl, which essentially ties this new era of communication right back to their foundational history as artists.
It's a statement, it says. We started here, and we returned to this shared language to fix what broke.
His caption started with this sense of excitement. He wrote, "Talk about a Sunday Callan." Started with @Miley Cyrus on CBS Sunday Morning.
I love that. Sunday Colin.
And then came his powerful, direct endorsement of this non-traditional therapy. And this is arguably the core takeaway of this entire deep dive. He wrote, "One great song can do more for the soul than 1,000,000 therapy sessions." I agree. Music changes everything.
That is an incredible, almost definitive statement.
It is.
It confirms the peace offering was accepted, but more than that, the method was embraced.
Yes.
For Billy Ray, a veteran musician whose whole career is built on country songs that tell complex stories, this was his daughter using their shared language to rebuild a broken bridge, and he validated that approach completely. He's saying, yes, we found a better, more honest way to deal with our family crisis than the way society conventionally tells us we should.
And he added this beautiful personal reflection to conclude the post, tying the emotional piece directly to his present life.
What'd he say?
He wrote, "So thankful and grateful to our almighty glorious God for all things good after playing baseball with my grandson this morning and feeding the horses."
Wow. That just grounds it all in reality, doesn't it?
It does. This final piece of text, it offers a snapshot of the contentment and stability that has returned to his life.
It suggests that the reconciliation with Miley, the daughter who started his family's whole dynasty, was a central, necessary component for him to get to his current state of gratitude and calm.
So the birthday snapshot we started with, the black and white photo, the unity, the wish that had already come true, that was the public result.
It was the victory lap for an emotional healing that took place months prior through this artistic, tearful, private reconciliation.
A victory lap for emotional healing. I love that.
It really reinforces that the resolution wasn't superficial. It allowed both of them to return to a state where they could enjoy the simple, fundamental joys of life, grandparenting, family time. The feud, brutal as it was, it ceased to be a defining factor in their day-to-day existence.
Replaced by the profound peace delivered through a song.
Exactly.
So what does this all mean?
Yeah, let's tie it all together.
We started this deep dive looking at a simple birthday celebration, which, turned out to be the public announcement of a really profound resolution. The conflict, this brutal, high-stakes family feud following a nearly 30-year marriage, was secured privately and efficiently through an artistic dedication.
The song's secrets.
Gifted from Miley to Billy Ray. And the key insight, confirmed by both of them, is the emotional depth and efficiency of communication they achieved through a shared creative output.
They leveraged their professional language music to bypass the limitations and the confrontation that's just inherent in painful spoken conversation.
Right. In a matter of minutes, a song conveyed profound vulnerability, it got a cathartic response, and it secured a reconciliation that might have otherwise taken years of difficult structured dialogue.
It challenged the wisdom that you have to talk everything out.
It really did.
And this narrative provides this essential lesson for anyone dealing with protracted conflicts where verbal communication has just failed, or where words have simply become too loaded or too easily misinterpreted. This successful outcome suggests that sometimes the most profound peace offerings aren't articulated through traditional, structured conversation,
but through vulnerability expressed via a permanent, resonant medium.
They talked differently, not necessarily harder.
And it encourages you, the listener, to ask a crucial, actionable question.
Which is?
If words fail in your own life, whether it's in a family dynamic, professional conflict, a sensitive relationship, what is your alternative medium for communication or resolution?
That's a powerful question.
Where can creative expression, be it writing a personal story, composing a melody, painting a feeling, even just sending a long, carefully constructed visual communication, where can that replace a difficult, potentially destructive conversation.
Because the ability to shift that communication channel away from confrontation and into creation, it fundamentally changed the outcome for the Cyrus family. It allowed both of them to be vulnerable in their most natural state.
Which led immediately to acceptance and peace, confirmed by tears and public mutual validation.
This successful exchange suggests that the power of art isn't just to entertain, it's to heal.
And that is the final thought for you to mull over. The unexpected efficiency of art as therapy.
And the realization that sometimes the true secret to finding peace is simply finding the right melody.